Hey guys, it's Amy here, and today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up and favourites. So as most of you probably know, this month I've been doing the 30-day read, which started in the middle of June and will be ending in the middle of July. So some of the books I have read haven't been part of the 30-day read, and some of them have, so I will tell you as I go along which ones are included in the 30-day read. So the first book I read this month was Ink by Madman. This isn't in the 30-day read. I was sent this by Harlequin Teen and I really enjoyed it. The story is centred around the life of a young girl who has moved from America to Japan because of the death of her mother. The culture is completely different. She has to learn how to speak the language and how to make friends and things like that. But the main part of the story is she meets a young man who can draw, but his drawings come to life. She is then pulled into this world of moving drawings and mystery and why they're moving particularly around her and this guy. And it's just really interesting. I found it to be a completely different type of story to what I've been reading recently and I really enjoyed it. The second book I read this month was Eragon by Paolini. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I've been meaning to read it for so long. I've had it on my bookshelf for years, I'm not even kidding, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a story that was totally up my street. I love high fantasy and just world building, and I really liked it. It follows the story of a young man named Eragon who finds a dragon, and then the story kind of ensues from there. Eragon and the dragon then pursue a group of people who have caused misery in their lives. Now, I finished reading this on the first day of the 30-day read, so I'm counting half of the book as 30-day read pages because really I was still reading it, so I think it should be counted. The third book I read this month was Fight Club by Palahniuk, I'm not sure on the last name. Obviously now this is into the 30-day read books and I really liked this. I found the writing style to be so good and so close to the way the film was done. I watched the film before I read the book. I found that they did the film so well and so close to the book, and reading it was like watching the film basically. I really liked it. It was a reasonably quick read as it's quite a short book, and I found the writing style to be quite easy to read and get along with, although I have heard from some people that it took quite a while for them to get into the writing style because it is slightly different. I just found that it was very good for the way my brain works, I think, and I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. The fourth book I read this month was The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepherd, and I was sent this by HarperCollins, and I really liked this, although it was slightly creepy. I'm not a big fan of scary / creepy things, but I did read this during the day because I think it would have creeped me out slightly if I was reading it at night. And I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I found the story to be really interesting and nothing like I had read before, so I really liked that. The book was reasonably fast paced, so I found that I didn't get bored at any points and the story didn't drag, and I really liked that. Action seemed to be around every corner for the characters in this book, and so I found it to be a really good read. Highly recommendable. So the fifth book I read this month was Inkheart by Cornelia Funke. Pleasantly surprised by this one. So many people had suggested it to me and I wasn't really particularly keen to read it, but as so many people were saying how amazing it was in my previous videos, I thought, well, I will put it in my 30-day read and I'll read it and see how I feel about it. And I really enjoyed it, and I think I will enjoy the second and third ones slightly more than these, which sounds a strange thing, but because I've watched the film and I kind of knew what was happening, it kind of felt like this one was ruined for me in a way. Hopefully, reading the second two, as I will have no idea what's going to happen, I think I'll enjoy those more, even though I did really enjoy this one as well. The pacing of this book was really good. The story and the characters were really exciting and really fun to get to know, and I just really loved it. So the final book that I read in the month of June was Frankenstein by Shelley. This is also quite a short book, but the language is quite Old English, so I feel it took me slightly longer to read than I had planned. Even so, I found it to be a really brilliant book. I loved the language that was used. The story was really hard-hitting as well, quite intense and quite deep, like the meanings behind everything, and I can understand how this is used in schools and things because you can really get a lot of information and deeper meanings and metaphors from the words written. I thought it was brilliant, and I would recommend to anyone who hasn't really gone into classics or anything before, as it's quite a short one and really enjoyable. Before I get into my favourites, I wanted to mention a few things. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish my 30-day read. Hopefully I will. I'm going to try and read as many of the books that I plan to as possible, but the thing is, I didn't really plan this particularly well. One, in this month I have had Marlin stay from Switzerland for a week. We didn't obviously do a lot of reading because we were doing a lot of exciting things. I wanted to show her around England. Also, I'm going to Germany next week, so I'm going to be away for a week. Hopefully I'm going to be able to read, but obviously it's a holiday. I'm going to want to be doing things in Germany rather than reading. The day after I come back from Germany, I'm also going on a weekend away with my friends. So really, I haven't set myself up for a success with this 30-day reading challenge, but I'm going to try. I'm trying to do as much reading in the day as I can this week. So I apologise profusely now, just saying it's probably not going to happen. Another thing is that I'm trying to catch up with my reviews on Goodreads and my blog because I haven't been keeping up with them recently. Hopefully on my way to Germany I'm going to be able to type out a load of them, so if you want to follow me on Goodreads or if you want to be my friend on Goodreads, feel free to add me. I'll leave all the links below. My blog will be there as well if you want to follow that, so go ahead and do that and hopefully I'll be up to date with those soon. So finally, on to my favourites. My favourite TV show of this month would be The Tudors, and I know it's a very old show now. I'm not sure when it came out, but I've been addicted to it. I can't stop watching it. I found it on catch up on my TV and it's just fantastic. I can't stop watching it. It follows the life of Henry VIII and all of his wives, and I just find it hilarious. Warning though, there's a lot of sex in it, so if you're young, probably not a show for you. My favourite music of the month would be Mumford & Sons. I've been listening to their albums non-stop. I find them to be such a summery band, and they're getting me in the mood for summer, and I love it. My favourite booktuber of the month would have to be Suddenly Lorna, and I really suggest that you guys go and check out her channel. She is so well spoken and so lovely to listen to, and I just love her videos so much. I will leave a link here and you can go and subscribe. And to round it all off, my favourite moment of the month would be the fact that Marlon came to stay and I showed her around the small part of England that I live in. We also went to stay in London with Lorna and we saw Frankie from Instead of Gold. She came over from California and it was just a brilliant weekend and week spent with Marlon and then seeing those guys in London. It was fantastic. There are videos. Lorna put up a video, Marlon put up a video. Frankie from Instead of Gold filmed a video of us in the park, which should be going up soon, so you should go and subscribe to all these lovely people so you can see all the videos that I've been in, and it was just such a great time and I loved it. So that's everything for today, guys. I hope you're all having a brilliant day and I'll see you soon. Bye!
We could like make ourselves into cupcakes. Because
because zombies don't eat cupcakes.
yeah, obviously, I mean, they're too sugary.
They just turn away. They go looking for more humans.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, cupcakes, we don't need those.